Joe Frazier was a left hooker, but Joe Frazier knew how to get into an opponent's body with his head and shoulder movement, where he could operate and break a fighter down. Tua doesn't.
Harold, how do you have it scored through 3?
Okay, Jim. Well, I agree with our esteemed colleague, Mr. Merchant. 3-0, 30-27, Hasim Rahman. Jim, in the first 2 rounds, Rock won it with the jab. But in round 3, he started to drop the right hand. In other words, he turns it over and drops it down onto it. Drops it, nails him on the nose. Jim, I gotta make mention of that beard of David Tua's. The rule is this: if the beard cushions the blows, or if the beard scratches an opponent, it's illegal. That beard is cushioning blows.
And 2 things happened while you were talking, Harold. Number 1, Hasim Rahman flirted with the ropes, almost put his back against the ropes. George Foreman was pointing to make the point that's the first time that he almost had his back against the ropes. That's where Tua wants him. Then when he brought Tua near us on the ropes, Rahman leaned over the top of Tua, looked at me and said, "I'm leading. I've won the first 3 rounds," which only goes to show you that he too is scoring the bout.
But those left hooks that are coming in now a little more frequently are starting to rock Rahman a little too much. He's been caught with 2 of them, and you don't just recover just like that.
Rahman's pace finally beginning to slow. He set a CompuBox heavyweight record, guys, by throwing 83 jabs in the 3rd round. That's the most jabs in 1 round ever for a heavyweight in a CompuBox charted fight.
Rahman has done a good job, but he hasn't gone to the body of Tua once. You want to jab the guy, you want to beat the guy, but you got to go down to the body in case you run out of jab. His strength is starting to go away.
And Tua swollen under both eyes, bleeding from the nose, bleeding slightly from under the left eye. So the time is shortening for David Tua, who's getting himself into danger against Hasim Rahman and may need to mount a more aggressive assault.
Rahman got to go to the body here. Hasn't gone to the body enough at all to weaken this big, strong man. One to the side that time.
Let him go. Step back, both of them. Let him move.
David Tua expects to lose 1st, 2nd, and 3rd rounds, so you can't just discourage him like that.
Tua with that haymaker left hook. And
Back is
Rahman
closer
almost,
to the rope.
That's right. Rahman almost had his back against the ropes.
Another right to the body by Rahman.
The jab continues to touch up to his face. Big right hand by Rahman. He's very confident in there. Bouncing on his feet despite the 259.
There's no shame in his game.
Wow. There are a lot of dropped jaws at ringside based on what Hasim Rahman has done in the first 4 rounds against David Tua. That was not expected. Bernard Hopkins getting ready for what is expected to be an easy fight against Murad Akar. If we pick that one wrong, that'll be the source of considerable amazement. The very technically skilled Bernard Hopkins. What a craftsman. Remember his demolition of Felix Trinidad, September 29, 2001?
David's starting to come off the double jab. You breathe through your mouth. Hold your mouth up. Just breathe normal. One punch is not going to do it, Dave. After the hook, I need the right hand, okay? You're landing the left hook and then...
How easy it is? You stay on this stool. Don't get up until the bell rings.
Got to work.
Stay over there.
The first third of this year, the theater of the unexpected in boxing has occurred almost every time we've been out. It's now almost becoming expected to be unexpected. And what Rahman has been able to do so far has certainly been unexpected.
Rahman
better not be...
Go ahead.
Rahman better not get comfortable throwing right hands against Tua. That right hand stayed right next to his chin, and forget trying to execute it now. Wait a few rounds.
Every time Rahman throws that right, Tua wants to counter with the left.
Yep, and they just keep chopping away at your strength. He's best to throw his left jab and then hook occasionally. Just use the right hand as a leverage.
Well, he's been so dominant with the jab. You wonder why he would try to do anything else other than the body punching you've suggested as the supplement, George. Try to take a little starch out of Tua for the later rounds. Rahman threw 67 punches by CompuBox numbers in the fourth. That was way down from his previous output rate.
Uh-oh, close to the ropes now.
Tua lands a right hand up top.
It seems that David Tua doesn't even want to hit you unless you're close to the ropes. He saves up everything. He can see that your body's 2 feet away from the ropes, and he throws a big shot. He doesn't care about hitting you in the middle of the ring.
Get off him, get off him. Come on, you hold him. Let him go, step out, let him go.
Rahman cannot take 2 or 3 more of those hooks, I can tell you that. Got to make the big man miss. Jab, jab, bob and weave. Well, don't bob.
Stop it.
If you get low.
That was a good punch to the body by Tua. He hasn't done enough of it.
Let him go. Let him go. Stop punching.
Getting very uncomfortable around Rahman's face, too. He's starting to bleed just a little bit.
Stop me.
Trying to cope with the jab now simply by ducking and coming under it into clinches.
Tua's corner told him to throw that right hand and throw the left and then finish with the right. He hasn't done that yet.
They also told him to try to jab his way in, and David seems to have dispensed with the idea of jabbing. It's so difficult to reach Hasim Rahman, who is able to keep him at bay with his own jab. David has begun leaping with the left hook.
A little blood coming out of Rahman's nose, I believe.
It's going to be one of those fights.
Right hand by Rahman, right hand by Tua.
Tua waits for that 10-second warning. He starts trying to mix it up and catch you when you're not expecting.
Get your hands down. Get your hands down.
Get on your toes.
Get your hands down. Hey, listen to me. Listen to me. You cannot do that. When you break, be alert. Don't go down with the fucking right hand. Hands down. Okay?
Set it up. Push him back with the double jab, then bring it over. And give me both sides, the right hand and the left hook. Okay, can you do that for me this round? Give me 2 jabs, the right hand, the left hook. Stepping with each punch, back him up. The right hand is there. I want you to keep throwing it, okay? Not the left hook by itself. Set your punches up. Set them up, Dave. Come on, we're breaking this guy down, but you got to give me 2.
Jabs in round 5. Rahman, who threw 83 of them in round 3, was finally down to 38. A considerably more human number in round 5, but still, Tua threw only 11 and landed 2. Rahman still winning the jabbing contest and still leading in the fight, although Harold Letterman gave the last round to Tua.
Tua's corner told him to lead with the jab, and that's the bad advice. You can't give him that. Tell him to do the other things, but leave the jab out of it because he gets beat to the punch with the jab. And then he gets discouraged and he can't follow through with the other stuff.
Exactly. He doesn't seem to have any confidence in the jab.
Yeah,
so why make him go out and try to start with that?
Yeah, but he can do the other. That right hand and then the left hook.
He got the left hook in there. He got close enough to make the left hook count there, but Rahman took it pretty well.
But that was good advice. Right hand and the left hook. Then come back with another hook.
Can't tell whether Tua is now bleeding from the nose or the mouth. Maybe both.
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Step back. Step back. Step back.
That right hand
with the right. Yeah.
That right hand is effective, just like his corner told him. Leave the jab out and just go winging.
There he chops with the right hand again, and now comes back with the left hook to the body. And Rahman ties him up.
One thing, when you're big like Rahman, you can do a lot of leaning and a lot of damage with that leaning.
Can the 30 pounds also help him take Tua's punch better?
No, that's not going to help in that area, but it can sure help him lean on this big man.
Right hand lands over the top for Tua. He hasn't really busted Rahman flush with one of those big shots. but he's making the point, and there's
There he is, up against the rope now.
Yep.
Tua's got to take advantage of it. It's unfolding for him right now.
And Rahman's offense has begun to evaporate, giving David a chance not only to land big shots, but to get back in the fight on the scorecards.
Starts to unfold when your man breaks back up to the ropes for Tua.
Look at the difference in those jabs from Rahman and what you saw in the first 3 rounds when he was sticking it aggressively. Doesn't have the energy anymore.
Start getting hit a few solid punches, you're not as eager to let your hands go. If Tua was a thoroughbred, he'd be the ultimate come-from-behind horse.
Silky Sullivan.
Silky Sullivan, roll away.
Carry back.
You're holding, get off and stop leaning on it. Stop leaning.
That's a good idea for Rahman. When the referee said break, don't you do it. Let him come in and break you. Use as much time as you can.
Here I am. Stop leaning. Let him go. Step back.
Slow offensive round for Rahman, and Tua is beginning to land some shots. We're halfway through.
You're breaking him down. Okay? Please work your jab. Okay? Please do it off the jab. Don't let him hold you. He's tired. The shots are there, Dave. Both sides. The right hand, the 45. Forget about the hook. The right hand, then the 45. He's ducking into it. Okay? Don't let him hold you, and don't, hey, be first.
Here's a medley of jabs from Rahman. This could be 4.5 years ago. It is tonight. He's just impaling Tua on the end of that jab. Can he sustain it through the second half of the fight?
CompuBox numbers in round 6, Tua 8 out of 25, but they were big shots. Rahman 11 out of 39, but 8 of them were relatively weak jabs. So maybe the numbers are slightly misleading there. As we go to the 7th round, David Tua is in a familiar position, probably behind on the scorecards, trying to reel Hasim Rahman in for a knockout. Harold, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, 4 rounds to 2, 58-56, Hasim Rahman. In rounds 5 and 6, Jim, Hasim Rahman went to a tactic he's used very early in his career. He's doing it right there. He grabs the guy and rides him across the ring. He leans on him so that he pushes Tua backwards, so that Tua has to, use up a lot of energy in his legs. Rahman always used to do that, but in the old days, he used to punch while he was riding the guy. This time, just holding him and leaning on him. Anyway, Tua gets in good left hooks, wins round 5 and 6.
Between rounds, you heard Kevin Barry asking David Tua to throw the right hand, the 45 he called it. I have to assume that means a 45-degree angle coming over the top.
You never know what those guys are talking about, I can tell you that.
Well, but he's thrown the right hand and kind of chopping half overarm angle a couple times in there.
And that guy, he got him. He got him to do it. He's on the ropes, too.
That was
on the ropes. He was hurt, and now he's on the ropes, but Tua wants him.
Hard punches, big shots. Rock taking him pretty well, but David Tua's gotten loose now.
And he's moving to Tua's right side and left side.
If Tua can make his point with the right hand, he'll put Rahman over on the other side where his left hook can become the critical.
The right hand is just something to shake you up and make you start getting out of the way from you so you can go to the hook.
If you remember, when Rahman got into trouble against Corey Sanders a couple of years ago, he unleashed a punch of his own that changed the fight. But can he do it against the Tua?
Tua is so low to the floor, it's just hard to get a good shot of it.
Rahman, of course, said he wasn't surprised by Corey Sanders' destruction of Vladimir Klitschko because he, having been in with Sanders, said, hey, nobody ever hit me harder than that guy.
It looks like Tua's gotten a little tired here.
Yeah, when you throw a lot of shots like that, you're over 240 pounds. Boy, you got to take a breather.
But it also looks like Tua's gotten some of his confidence back.
Yeah, he loves to punch. When he hits and hurt a guy, he knows he's in the fight. He knows he's in the fight now.
This has been a big round for David, who's had 2 separate flurries of big shots. Rock hasn't really landed anything big since the 4th round.
This is when Tua like to